Wow, this place is something else.
Ships piled upon ships? And the whole of it forming a city?
This is Grandship, the sinking state. At least that's what people used to call it.
An entire nation built atop a sinking boat?
Yep, a really big boat. Big enough to be its own nation. It was also our airship for a while.
A boat? That was a nation? That was an airship? Je ne comprends pas.
Wow, sir. That must have been some adventure.
I wonder how our friends at the tavern are doing. We should stop in and say hello. Hey! What? What's with the long faces?
Taxes. Pfft. What else? They're going up next week for the 3rd time this month.
Food, clothes, books, booze. You name it, they're raising the taxes. This country's going to hell in a handbasket if you ask me. What? Wait, I know that face.
Well, well, look what the waves dragged in. You're looking hale and hearty, my dears.
And you, Dats and Zats, haven't changed a bit.
Well, blow me down. If it ain't Edea, and 'tis too. You had a good long snooze, didn't ya?
I can't thank you enough for everything you did for us.
It was nothing.
I still can't get over how nothing's changed. The tavern's just like I remember.
It may look that way, but a lot's happened here in Grandship since your last visit.
Aye, a lot indeed.
About a year ago, we ran out of power. There wasn't a spark left. We came down in this crater lake, and we've been bobbing here ever since, like a lonely buoy.
We decided to make the best of it. Give up flying around the world and build a new nation right here.
And you've been here ever since?
That's right. We've taken in refugees, orphans, anybody who needed a roof over their head. We're starting anew, building from the bottom up. The new Grandship Republic. Has a nice ring to it, huh?
Milady, I have returned. I have placed the goods you requested out front. Ah, so you have come too.
Alternus?
Alternus Dim, loyal guardian and holder of the Dark Knight asterisk. This childhood friend of Edea's served her father Brave as a key member of Eternia's Council of Six. He travels the world ceaselessly to carry out the tasks assigned to him by Brave, his mentor and surrogate father. By what strange trick of fate do your paths cross anew?
Thank you. Once again, you deliver the goods. Where would we be without you? Here, let me give you something. How about a draught of ale on the house?
Thank you. Perhaps later.
A free drink? That man deserves an open tab for life! Sending the Dark Knight of Eternia out on pub errands? Only you would have the nerve.
Ain't that the truth?
Ah, but today's a fine day for a feast. What do you say? How about I whip up one of my specialties?
Now that's what I'm talking about!
Lord of House Genealja and leader of the Three Cavaliers? At your age? That's mighty impressive.
It's nothing special, really.
Want to hear something even crazier? This lass says she comes from the moon. The moon!
Nice to meet you. Oh, but this is delicious.
Seconds, please?
The appetite of the young.
Hey, Mr. Alternus!
Ah, there you are. Here, come sit with us. And here's some piping hot soup for you. And this is from me.
Wow, sketch pads and pencils! These are great! Thanks so much, Mr. Alternus.
You really have a way with kids.
I only help to distribute the nation's handouts, food, stationery, and the like. It has made me popular. It is a fine nation, this one. Where else would you see the underprivileged so well taken care of and so happy?
Not many places, for sure.
Did that ever hit the spot?
You can still pack it away, huh, Princess?
Ain't that the truth?
Every time we come here, you treat us to a magnificent feast.
Wait, you mean you never pay for your meals?
Well, no. Though when you put it like that, it kind of makes us sound like we're freeloading. You know, maybe we should pay sometimes. How much do we owe you?
Don't mention it. Seeing your happy faces and full stomachs is all the payment I need.
Oh, come on. Let us pay just this once.
Really? Well, if you insist. Let me see. This tax, that comes to, yeah. 1,825,890 pig. With a 10% discount for regulars.
1,800,000 But how?
I told you, didn't I? The taxes here are out of control.
Yeah, but even still. I mean, there must be some mistake.
The tax laws are set by our wise leaders. I'm sure they know what they're doing.
Well, I'm going to lodge a formal complaint. You can pick up the tab.
No, And there she goes.
Look, it's a simple question. Who's responsible for these outrageous taxes?
Yes, yes. As I have tried to explain, tax policy is determined by consensus of the entire council. The council, in turn, is chosen by the collective will of the nation. So, as you see, in a very real sense, everyone is responsible.
But who in their right mind would want taxes so high?
Edea, there is nothing to be gained by browbeating this gentleman. He is but one of many councillors.
But it's ridiculous! Someone has to take responsibility. The waffling is driving me bonkers. This council is just a doddering old bunch of do-nothings.
The poor laws here in Grandship are quite comprehensive. A certain degree of taxation is essential to maintain them.
A certain degree? I just paid 7 figures for one meal. Well, you did.
We must look after the orphans and the aged. Or are you suggesting we abandon them? The taxes also pay for the bread and books that I distribute to the children.
Okay, so it's for a good cause. But aren't you taking it a bit too far?
You are not the first to say so. This is why we are beginning to consider major policy reforms.
What?
Yes, a new organization has taken up the cause. Citizens concerned for the nation's coffers, they call themselves. They're holding their inaugural meeting in the old engine room. A number of influential council members will be attending. Should their agenda succeed, we can expect great changes, starting with taxes, which they plan to abolish almost entirely.
Well, that would certainly be good for business. But,
What of the bread and soup I deliver to the children? How will they be fed?
This is for all the gravy!
you!
Stay strong, everyone!
So, what do you think about Gatz's story about the gigantic old man?
That has to be Professor Norzen, right?
Enormous troll-like body? Check. Bellowing voice like a cracked bell? Check.
And those attendants in the pointed hats? Sounds like students of Al Campus to me.
And Dad said he kept shouting,
Fools! We must revive Tiz Orier!
Speaking of which, what exactly is that soul stone? The one that brought me back.
It was all shiny and shimmery. It was like it was made of some weird metal. I've never seen anything like it.
It was only 50-50 that it would work, you know. That's what the professor said. I think Professor Norzen saw it all coming. The destruction of our world, the end layer. And he's been thinking about what to do about it for all these years. He's somehow determined that he needed Agnes, Edea, and you, sir.
But I was still asleep then.
True, but he looked at your medical charts and knew he had a chance to bring you back.
If I could run a large instantaneous burst of energy through him, then perhaps...
Well, that's what he said.
So how did he figure out that the soul stone was here in Grandship?
The research team mentioned it in their report, when Grandship first appeared in this world.
So the professor came right away with a group of his students in tow. But in the meantime, the Empire launched its attack and brought down Eternian Central Command.
That's right. I was stuck on my own, so the professor sent Edea. He entrusted the Soul Stone to us so we could use it to revive you, sir.
We'd been trying to find a way, but we never knew there was something like that.
Who knows where it came from, but thanks to its powers, here I am.
I have to say, this Grandship is a very strange place.
According to the proprietress, the nation was born some 3,000 or 4,000 years ago.
Some legends say it was built by pirates.
Ah, that would explain why you can see the remains of old sailing ships and galleys here and there.
That's not the most interesting thing either. Look, over there, and there. This place is full of the same devices and machines as the one we saw in Sagitta. There's only one other place I know that you can see such things in buildings. The moon.
You're saying that Grandship started as an advanced civilization like Sagitta and the moon?
Perhaps. Or perhaps Grandship itself was the original civilization.
Now that would be weird.
Either way, it's kind of odd that Dax gave up so easily once he heard my name.
Gave up? Wait, didn't anyone tell you?
Tell me what?
Zatz was keeping an eye on things from the sidelines. According to him, the professor, moving like Quicksilver, snuck up behind Dax and put him into a sleeper hold. Then he spun him around and performed a textbook avalanche pile driver, full air at the apex and everything.
Wow, that old guy just keeps impressing.
Maybe it was the rampaging professor who grounded the ship in the first place. He's just that amazing.
As Dax would say, ain't that the truth? I'm not pulling any punches!
Who ordered this meeting anyway? And why all the way down here?
I hear that some hotshot new counselor has been proposing major tax cuts.
A new counselor? But who?
It was I!
Hear ye, hear ye! Councillor Kammer, Minister of Tax, has a new proposal that he would like all of you to hear. Minister Kammer, you have the floor.
Fellow council members, thank you for coming today.
Elec Quentis Kammer VIII, deposed king and holder of the Time Mage asterisk. Once he sat on the throne of Ansheim, but his evil plots on behalf of the Eternian forces were laid bare by Edea and her allies. He prides himself in his precision and his fame as the Timekeeper King, little realizing that the epithet was meant as an insult. By what strange trick of fate do your paths cross anew?
As you are all aware, our state has no power. Unable to soar through the skies at will, we resign ourselves to this stationary life. You are also aware that in years past, we harvested the bounty of the oceans and lived in plenty on the riches we found. Now our only exports are trinkets and handicrafts hewn from wood that we collect from the forest nearby. Every day our citizens, tools in hand, bow their heads in industrious toil. But the inescapable fact is, our coffers are empty. We can scarce afford even a fifth of our expenditures. Long have we boasted generous poor laws. But if we do not swallow our pride and abolish them, we shall be ruined within the month. As such, I have further refined my tax reduction proposal from last week. Stop pushing! I have enough copies for everyone. I hereby announce that 30 taxes are to be abolished. These include income tax, property tax, food tax, spice tax.
Oh!
This new policy will immediately increase the gross domestic output of the nation.
Stop right there.
An objection? Yes, what is it?
If those taxes are abolished as you propose, what will happen to our nation's poor laws? Who will look after the children?
The poor laws? Well, naturally, all unnecessary expenses will be cut, including handouts to orphans and the like.
Unnecessary expenses?
Indeed. When the nation's coffers are nearly empty, they are a luxury we can ill afford. Are you aware how much one must pay for a single slice of bread on this ship?
Well,
7,000 pig. Think about that. 7,000 pig for something that can be had for a pittance anywhere else in the realm. Cheese, 8,000 pig. Oh, a can of mackerel? Well, that'll be 9,000, thank you. And a round of ham will cost you a nice round 10,000 pig. What good do those prices do anyone? They're unreasonable, unsustainable. And they're caused by those bloated poor laws that you refuse to give up. Damn the consequences!
The poor laws are this nation's greatest pride. You would say that it is wrong to distribute wealth to those who need it most?
No, I would not say it is wrong. Oh no, how shall I put it? The poor laws are a poison! Yes, a poison that every day saps the strength of this nation!
A poison? You go too far. I'll hear no more of this fool talk.
You are the fool! Your ideals have blinded you, and you refuse to see the truth. So it falls to me to tear away the blindfold, to lay before you the hard, undeniable facts. You there! Explain to the good knight how many days remain before our coffers run dry.
Oh, yes, let me see. Carry the one and
Oh, too slow! 14 days, 21 hours, and 52 minutes!
Yes, that's it.
To rephrase, in just over 2 weeks, our nation will be bankrupt!
What?
But is there nothing else we can do? Yes, I suppose there is. For example, we could discover a sunken galleon filled to the gunwales with gold, like last month. Or we could beg our neighbors for money, like the month before that. I am an expert in taxes. When it comes to tax theory, I am 1,225 years and 3 months ahead of all of you combined. You there. You are Edea Lee, yes? Daughter of the Grand Marshal of Eternia? The Grand Marshal would raise no fool. Surely you see the logic of my position?
Well, kind of, but...
Tell him, Edea. He would forsake our pride, our honor, our very future just to fill the coffers. And for what? I will not live in a country where the rich grow fat while children starve.
Yes, we can give orphans bread and soup, supply them with pencils, send them to school. But what good does it do if the country they call home collapses under the weight of excess taxation? Why, even as I speak, our national debt has increased by another 3.141592%! Time! Yes, time is of the essence, my friends! We must make a choice, and quickly!
She is the daughter of the Grand Marshal of Eternia? Surely she can help us! She can show us a way out of our predicament!
Speak, girl. You have the floor.
Me? Okay. Right. You have to reduce taxes, even if it means abolishing the poor laws.
Edea, not you too? Has this man poisoned your mind?
No, I'm thinking clearly, Alternus. Your poor laws are wonderful. I truly believe that. And I understand why you want to protect them. But they have to be sustainable. Someone has to pay for them. If the country collapses, no one will be protected. What use will your poor laws be then?
You sorely disappoint me, Edea. You would so callously abandon those in need?
It's not like that!
Oh, but it is! If you are prepared to embrace this scoundrel and his inhumane policies, you leave me no choice. I warn you, Edea. Is this your final decision? Then the debate is over, Edea. My sword will speak for the orphans you would abandon. I am the Dark Knight, Alternus Dim. You would forsake the common people? You will taste my anger and my steel!
We are not gonna take this sitting down!
Keep you safe.
Edea, I beg of you, think again. The children are our greatest treasure. A nation that forsakes them has no future. But let us speak of another future. Our future. Yes, you will be my bride. And I shall be your...
This isn't the time for proposals, you ninny!
No! realization of my dreams is no more. Curse you!
Wait! Alternus!
Wonderful! Your father would be proud of you. Now, it's time to put this nation back on its feet. I am already working on a major public works project to repair the engines. Yes, Grandship will fly once more.
Don't be ridiculous! You're just as bad as Alternus! You're already talking about building projects? About making Grandship fly again? It's too early for that. Your first job is the economy. There's no need to go from one extreme to the other. The middle ground is nice. Try it. You'll need to learn to compromise, to work together, like adults.
Yes, ma'am.
The taxes on foodstuffs were cut to almost nothing. I can't tell you how much easier things are now.
Yeah, since the tax reform, business has been booming all over Grandship.
Oh, I'm starving.
Me too.
It's too bad about the poor laws, though. The orphans have had a rough time of it.
And what about Alternus?
He hasn't been around much. Not since the engine room meeting. He's been running all over the place, trying to help the orphans.
I guess it's not easy to keep the coffers full and look after the poor at the same time.
Perhaps. And perhaps not?
Huh?
All right, everyone. Time for the Eat Your Fill buffet.
Eat your fill?
Yeah, with the tax cuts, the merchants are finally turning a profit again.
And they've been donating their extra profits to help feed the children. Aw, ain't that sweet?
Wow, that's really generous.
Beg your pardon? I heard there were some children here looking for work.
You bet there are, right behind you.
Oh, don't you two look keen? If you apprentice with me, I'll pay for your schooling. What do you say?
You got it, mister. We'll work hard and study hard, too.
With the nation's economy improving, people are taking up the slack to look after the kids. Grandship should be proud of itself.
I think so too.
It was all thanks to you, Edea.
Oh, I didn't really do anything. I just said what was on my mind.
Edea, my dear, the food won't last forever, you know. Aren't you going to dig in?
You don't have to ask twice.
Huh?